The U.S. has declared war on Iran. Tonight we're going to discuss what you need to know. Let's go. Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Not Safe for Sunday podcast. I'm Josh, and back on the couch is my boy Ken. Welcome back out of the booth, Kenny.
Yeah, it feels good to be back in the comfortable surroundings of the couch. Yeah. So I like the booth, but I think I like it better out here. More my element.
Was it I've heard it's liberating in the booth.
It is liberating. It's just not as comfortable. And I enjoyed being with Johnny, dynamic duo out there in there, but I like being out here more.
Good. Well, we're happy to have you back.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Daniel, what's up, man?
We are not happy to have you. He is happy. I'm happy
Jeez.
to have you back too.
Jeez.
I tune it out.
I'm happy to have you back too.
I tune it out.
Call him daddy.
I save that for special occasions. It's not his birthday.
Danny, why do you do this to yourself?
Really,
This is
right? Spencer. I'm going to take it over from here, Josh. Spence is back. What's up, Spence?
I'm back.
So, Spence, as you know, because you are a faithful watcher when you're not present, Spencer, first of all, welcome back. Great to have you back.
Thank you.
Fake applause in the background. And then I know you watched the episode, and I know that you need to address some of the things that were brought up in the last episode. So you take it from here, Spence.
Yeah, address him, Spence. let the people know that I don't know.
Yeah, no, I was shocked. I was listening.
Shocked.
I wake up early.
I feel like I'm being gaslit even more.
I wake up early. I go to the gym, and so before I go out the door, I'm mixing my little protein shake and whatnot. I'm listening to the episode, and then all of a sudden I hear my name. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on? I wasn't expecting this.
Had to rewind it.
Had to rewind, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you guys, tell the story, and so there were some fair assumptions, but let me just tell.
Did you take a good look at that photo?
let me just tell. The
Everybody's
story.
dying to know.
So what happened was what had happened was we had just filmed the episode with Madison. And we were gonna, make like a cool little teaser,
Very cool,
thumbnail, vibe.
Super. Cool.
And so I was just trying to attempt to get some candid pictures of Josh and Daniel.
Be careful when you say candid.
And that wasn't going super well. And so then I just tried to have them kind of just pose, just kind of, pretend. So I got a pretty good one to Josh, and then I took a couple of Daniel, and then none of them were working. Like it just wasn't, what was gonna work for the picture, which I didn't, fully realize until I started editing them. And so that one picture.
You decided.
So the one picture I had, I was like, okay, like this works, and if. I didn't expect anybody to really pay close attention to it.
Oh, you don't know how many texts I got about that photo.
My thought was, I was like, okay, yeah, like, you look quick. It looks like he's, like, laughing or something. It's all good. And, like, no big deal. And it was just going to be an Instagram story, too. So I was like,
it'll disappear.
No, no one's paying attention.
It never
no
disappears.
It's all good. And then, but then, and I also was like, we got an audience of saved and sanctified folks. They won't think anything bad.
No, not one thing.
And no, little did I know. You caught some heat for that. It was not my intention. I apologize for that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We'll just give the people what they want.
I love how Spence started off, though. He's always like, I was surprised anybody.
I was. I think people were gonna dissect it and really zoom in.
It didn't take much zoom.
Yeah, no, it did not take much zoom.
It didn't take much zoom in Spence.
You can fit a tractor trailer in my mouth, though, hoping that thing was.
Oh my god. Clay?
Oh man, great to have you back. And Spence, you can take pictures anytime you want.
Gotcha.
Oh man.
Back to you, Josh.
Well, welcome back, Spencer. Anything else that you want to air out while you have the mic?
Oh boy. Well, first, the Bruno Mars album is really good.
Okay.
Give that a listen.
Did that come up?
Oh yeah. Oh no, it didn't come up on. It came out on Friday.
A new album?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't. I'm not even aware of this.
Okay.
That's great.
Oh yeah.
My ride home's gonna be great now.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. Bruno Mars Appreciation Day today.
All right.
Oh yeah, the Super Bowl. Halftime show. Yeah, that was cool. I don't, it was a boring Super Bowl, but the halftime show was cool. I didn't watch any of the Turning Point one. Couldn't really bring myself to give them a view. Didn't want to inflate their numbers, but no, I heard that was a train wreck.
They needed everything. They needed your help, dude.
Yeah, unsurprisingly,
If they had your editing, dude, they might have been all right.
You should have been in charge of marketing for it.
I think their editing was about on the level that I could do it. that might have been their issue.
Well, over budget. They went over budget.
Oh yeah, but no, the commenters out there, you know who you are, So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that.
All right, Jake, what's up, man?
Not much, man.
Back in the booth.
Back in the booth.
What's going on?
Not much, man. Just living this life.
One day at a time.
One day at a time.
Attaboy.
New haircut though.
New haircut.
This could be his clone. We don't even know if this is the
That's
real
true.
Jake.
That's
Actually,
true.
You never know.
That's true.
I don't know. Things look a little different. I get scared of that.
I know.
I
Thought
could
I-
be
I
in
thought-
witness protection in Valhalla with Charlie Kirk.
I looked over. I thought it was Ryan Gosling for a second.
Yeah.
The gauze.
Yeah. People at work are saying several different things. They're actually, there was some of the providers were saying I looked like George O'Malley, Chad Michael Murray, or Justin Bieber with the buzz cut.
Okay.
Those are three things.
I'm gonna go with the gauze.
I like that you took notes of that.
I did. Yeah, I did. I had to read
You
them
had it
because I'm
prepared.
horrible with actors.
Prepped, dude.
I went to school for media, but I don't like movies. So,
Incredible.
That's great.
yeah,
That's great.
amazing.
Johnny, what's up?
Nothing much. Been doing some training in the backyard, shooting some bottles down with BB guns, preparing for this war coming up. In case I get drafted.
Oh, good luck.
Spence, is that going to help him?
No, the real, the real thing's a little different.
How much did you have to shovel to get out to the backyard, Johnny?
I made like a little trench for myself.
He's practicing trench
Get out
warfare
there.
already.
Go there, hunker down.
God bless,
He
dude.
did. He's got a little foxhole back there, a little igloo, and
Oh, you need it, dude.
You say igloo?
Igloo.
hey, he made a little igloo.
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 Oh, we're not gonna get into igloo,
Igloo?
pronunciation. all right?
Igloo.
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 Igloo. We're not gonna get into that.
Tomato,
Igloo.
That's a dating website.
Jeez.
For, Alaskans.
Igloo.
Igloo.
That's great.
Igloo.com, dude.
You got Jake with that
Oh,
one.
that's awesome.
Oh my goodness, that snow was crazy though. Record snow,
Mhm.
like wild, absolutely wild.
Needs to go away.
It does need to go away. Do you guys see what happened to Jim Carrey, dude?
Yes,
He
it's a
got
shame.
swapped. He got
Seen-
swapped
seen
for
a
a
few
clone,
things.
dude. I buy into the conspiracy that he got swapped out for a clone. I don't know what they did with him, but we have a section of the internet that's been clamoring for Jake's take on what's been happening
Yes.
with Jim Carrey. So.
Yeah.
The viewers are going crazy, Jake.
I've already seen it. You know, the previous red carpet that he attended. You know, he said that he wasted his time by even showing up. He just seemed really uninterested. I don't think medication can get you this happy in such a short period of time and motivated to go out and say the things he said this time. But, you know, we'll never know the truth. I think the truth you have to put in your heart is God. And, yeah, so.
So what? Who is it? Is it Jim?
No, I don't think it's Jim.
Okay.
I don't have an opinion on who it is, really.
Wait, I think the truth came out though
What?
about what that's.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't the funny thing was this didn't even come across my algorithm like at all
Really?
until you guys texted about it in the group chat.
There's no
Wow.
way, dude.
I had no idea what you guys were
That's
talking
Really?
how.
about.
That's how it works.
I had to like look it up.
It's crazy.
Really?
So it was just it was like some Hollywood makeup person who just does.
Yeah,
stuff
but then
like
I heard
this.
that was also debunked.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
I think
was
that's in
debunked.
question.
I heard that was in question. That
Angel
person
Stone or something.
they
like
like
that?
posted it because that's like something that they do is they disguise themselves as celebrities.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was Jim Carrey's like manager or somebody associated with Jim Carrey like said that was actually Jim Carrey and like his family was there and everything and
But it looked like Jim Carrey though. It didn't look. It
Yeah,
didn't look that-
see-
it
yeah,
looked
but it's a
crazy.
little different.
It's a little zhuzhed up, Jim
Yeah,
Carrey. dude.
zhuzhed.
Those-
Yeah, he had like a different eye color.
The cheekbones.
Well,
Well, listen, man,
eyes.
you get to be 55 plus, age hits you.
Yeah,
things
I'm
happen.
gonna have to dial this one back and say, celebrities have been doing this in Hollywood for several decades now, getting cheek implants and
That's
getting
true.
their chins done and getting
Zac Efron looks exactly the same.
eye color.
What are you talking about?
And all this stuff. So
Have you seen Vince McMahon lately?
oh
No.
yeah, Vince McMahon looks like a Muppet.
Really? Pull it up, Jake.
Oh yeah,
Gotta see
I gotta
Vince
see
McMahon.
this, dude.
Vince McMahon looks like a Muppet. It's so crazy. So yeah, I'm gonna dial this. I'm all for good conspiracy theories, but I
you
mean,
think that was Jim?
Hollywood actors have been doing this forever. They've been doing this forever. Yeah, look at him. Tell me he doesn't look like a Muppet.
Me.
Oh, poor Vince.
Poor guy.
Yeah, I don't pull up the Jim Carrey picture.
I don't know,
if you
Jim
can.
Carrey, dude. I don't know. It
I'm
looks
buying
very
into
different.
it.
Yeah.
I'm in the clone theory.
I mean, they do have like the hyper realistic masks now. I definitely know that's
Well, Joe
accurate.
Biden
Put that
was a
one on the
clone
right.
his whole presidency.
Put him on the top
His
right.
mask was expiring towards the end.
Jake, top right.
That one
Jake.
I believe,
Jake,
Jake.
stay focused, Jake. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's tough.
That's different,
He
dude.
put on a little weight and he got some cheek implants.
He was talking about in other interviews about
Dude,
things that people in Hollywood don't talk about.
yeah, and then
So it's like very interesting.
Yeah.
That
No, I
he
agree.
got.
Like he was talking about Illuminati on one of the talk shows.
yeah,
He's
which
been
we don't
acting.
talk about.
He's been acting weird for a while.
he's been acting
That-
weird for a
I
long
mean,
time.
his
that's for
entire
sure.
career.
Yeah, and then
been a little bit
and then he
weird.
shows up to this, French red carpet or whatever the heck this thing was, and I don't know.
Jolly-
He's like
jolly
he's
old
being like
guy.
soft spoken, and he's very gentle and all excited. And
Yeah.
every other thing you've ever seen
No
about him
crazy
is him
facial
like,
expressions that he normally does.
Yeah.
The Grinch, goofy stuff.
Maybe he's just going all out for a movie role though, because like some of these guys do this
Think so? He's
too.
method
like
acting?
method acting.
He's method acting,
I don't-
and
I
he
don't
went
agree.
he went all the way. He went to plastic surgery with it. Because remember when Heath Ledger, before he was playing the Joker, I guess like he was like in character all
I-
the
yep, I
time
remember
leading up
that
to that
story.
so
movie.
you're
That
saying
people
Jim
were like,
Carrey's gonna die
I'm not saying that, but
if
I'm
he's
saying
not already.
I'm saying that he's just going all the way. He's
He's gearing up for a big Dr.
gearing up for a-
Robotnik dude in Sonic 3.
big role or something. I don't know.
That bottom right corner. You ever seen that comedian girl that looks exactly like him?
Oh yeah,
Jake, pull that up.
that
Put
lady.
comedian girl
Comedian girl that
looks like Jim
Yeah.
Carrey. It's gonna
I know
pop
what-
up.
I know what you're talking
Remember that photo, that bottom right photo in your head, and look up this girl. It's like almost identical except she's skinnier.
about. Yeah.
All right, you can pass now. Like, I don't know about that.
Come on,
What?
you got to see her actually like. No, it's not her. That's actually Jim Carrey. I don't know if you know that, Jake.
This one? Her?
Her.
Yeah, dude.
Uh,
I see the resemblance.
Okay.
What?
You got to watch a video.
Okay,
You got to
I'll-
watch a
Yeah.
video. The photos are not doing it justice. But I'm telling you, like she like does Jim Carrey impersonations and everything, and she's like,
Yeah, her account got banned on her video. Just kidding.
I was like,
all I can say is I watched Ace Ventura: Pet Detective like
Great
2
movie.
weeks ago. Dude.
that was on recently. Yeah, it's been on recently. Great movie.
I watched it a couple weeks
So
ago,
classic.
and that isn't whatever that was in France, dude. Was not my Jim Carrey.
yeah.
Mr. Wiki.
Yeah, Jim
I
Carrey did
heard
comment that he
Finkel.
was feeling very comfortable and that he didn't need to be outgoing because he's not going to be doing any more. Basically, calling on his retirement.
Yeah, I don't know, man. See, I don't buy that either because I think a while ago he said he wasn't gonna do any more movies and he was all done, and then he started doing the Sonic movies, and I was like, this.
Because he was broke, probably.
Yeah,
this?
that was a weird one for me. Coming
Right?
in for Sonic.
Yeah, I was
That's
like,
when actors
alright.
need money. They do stuff like that.
Strange.
You don't like-
Strange movie
you
to
don't
go
like the
on.
Sonic movies?
listen, it's
I like the
okay,
Sonic
but
movies.
like
Those some solid movies.
this
right there.
this man has had like some big hits, and then we went to Sonic after you said I'm done with Hollywood. Like,
Yeah, I don't
I'm
know.
not doing
I'm
this
coming
ever
back
again.
for a role.
Right.
That's money.
I
That's a
don't know
money
that-
grab. That's just a
yeah.
money grab. Those movies that actors come back and do are just money grabs. Like,
I mean, he got a trilogy out of it.
he did.
He did.
Yeah, there's 3 Sonics, man.
Yeah.
Is it already 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
That-
God.
yeah, the
Look,
third
and you
one.
got Keanu Reeves in the third one. Money
Oh, is
grab.
that Shadow? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the third one?
Kenneth
or is that the
lookalike.
second
That's the third one.
Oh yeah, Keanu, my lookalike.
Kenneth look alike.
Keanu Walsh.
I'm a John Wick. I'm a big John Wick 4 fan.
So is your
actually.
wife.
Oh, yeah.
Keanu Wick- Is that the one with Boban?
with Kane.
So's your wife. You keep a wig.
Hey, stop it.
You're gonna get beat up at church.
I'm a big John Wick 4 fan.
Why John Wick 4?
I thought it was the best one out of all of them.
Really?
Yeah, I can't really get into the rest of them. I mean, it's like kind of the same thing over and over again. But I just like the how they bring the story to a close, and I like Kane's a great character.
What's Keanu Reeves' best movie?
Probably the first Matrix.
Yeah.
But you go back, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, great movie. I mean, such a great movie when he was much younger.
My sneaky pick is The Replacements.
That's a good movie.
I love that movie, dude.
That's a good
I think
movie.
that movie is so good. I don't know why.
That's a good movie. He was in a movie called Parenthood with Steve Martin. A ton of people in this movie. Steve Martin and a bunch of other people.
Oh, yeah?
Good role for him.
Is it on Tubi for free?
I don't know, but yeah, it's an older one, so I'm sure you can pick it up somewhere.
Oh man, we gotta go. We gotta hit the comments. Last episode we got hit by the shadow government, dude. We got
shadow banned by
we got shadow banned
by,
on YouTube
Epstein
a little
and,
bit.
Tel Aviv.
Schmootube.
Yeah, we can't say Epstein.
Can't say anything.
We can't say anything anymore.
Don't worry, we were talking
already
about
said
Juan
it, though.
Epstein from Welcome Back, Kotter.
Yep.
Juan Epstein. So we did have I think we had at least one new commenter though.
Did we?
On the last episode? But
Pull it up.
before I get into that,
Oh, Josh, yeah. What are you going to do?
I want to make sure. Thanks, God. Thanks for reminding me. So, please go on.
Buy us a coffee, please.
Buy us a coffee, please. We need you.
We're
Parched.
coffeeless.
As you can see, we are coffeeless. But I wanted to let you guys all know that if you have been enjoying the podcast and you want to support what we're building, we have a Buy Me a Coffee page. All right, it's basically a digital tip jar. It's a simple way for you to say, "Hey, keep going. We like what you're doing." There's no pressure at all, but every little bit helps us keep creating this wonderful content for you. So please, you can find the link in the description below in the video. You can find the link in the description on Apple Music or Spotify, wherever you find this podcast. You can find us on social media anywhere as NSFS Podcast. And when you go on there, give us a like, review, subscribe. If you'd like to donate to us, go to our Buy Me a Coffee page.
Be generous, right? As I always say, we like the money that jingles.
Yeah, use
but
all
we
your pennies.
love the money that crinkles.
You can't use your pennies anywhere else but here.
That's true. We need your digital pennies, please.
Josh, I'm looking at the comments. I don't see one new comment.
Oh, we
Last
have
I
episode.
one.
see a new one.
Who?
We have one new comment.
Ham jam.
Yeah, Ham Jam, dude.
What? I don't even, that's not coming
Go
up on mine.
instead of top. Go sort by newest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got Ham Jam 4, which is, first of all, fantastic name. That's
is
a fun
great.
name, Ham Jam. And they said, I've been listening for about a year on Pocket Casts. First time watching since I saw you guys in a YouTube short and immediately went to Pocket Cast to find you guys. It's awesome to have something to listen to and watch that is faith-based but is also honest conversation between real human beings. Ham Jam, we appreciate that.
Thank you, Ham Jam.
Thanks, Hammy.
We do.
Finding
Thanks,
peace.
Hammy.
Finding peace, checking in.
Finding peace, checking in early.
Love you, finding peace.
Early and often.
Wherever you are.
Jacob
was excited that Jake was on the couch.
Jacob on the couch.
Finding pieces.
You know what I like about Finding Peace is that they timestamp. Can we encourage our listeners to timestamp? Because sometimes you have
Yes.
people that will comment and they don't timestamp it, and you don't know
Yeah, we
exactly
don't know
what they're talking about. Yeah, so listeners, watchers, please
We encourage timestamp.
timestamp.
I love Adam's comment.
Yeah.
I'm happy I was able to bring out the atrocities bestowed upon Daniel. Thank you, Spencer, for the full day of laughter with that photo. You deserve a raise.
The
Hey,
whole
thank you. I'll gladly accept that raise.
Great.
Yeah, we're gonna double your salary tonight. The whole Morales family sent me that picture at like 7 a.m. Dude, they're like, "What did he do to Daniel?" I'm like, "I thought it was good."
I mean, that was candid. It was a candid picture. I mean,
Oh
good.
God.
that was that.
That's just how
I
Daniel
mean,
lives his life.
if we got creative, we could turn this into a contest. You know, like
Hey, settle down. Nobody needs encouragement.
I think you were yawning, is what it was.
Clearly. I mean, God, you got to be blind to look.
Yeah.
I mean, just to clarify, in case people
Yawning.
were curious.
Of course, I was
He
yawning.
had popsicles that day.
fan contest, Photoshop selling in place like.
We'll post it. We'll put the raw files up for you to download.
Daniel files.
This guy wants to go to war with me. I will go to war, dude. I'll send you more drones than Iran.
He's biting the Twin Tower.
Oh my goodness, dude.
I know everything about you.
I have no secrets.
We'll release the winner on our Patreon.
the Kenneth files, no redactions.
I have no secrets.
Oh,
I have no
my
secrets.
All right, well, now that the fun's over, dude. But seriously, we this episode we wanted to discuss. We are at war with Iran, and there's a lot that's happening globally from the fallout from what's going on in Iran and the U.S.'s involvement, and Israel and everybody else that's involved. And a lot of people are talking about it. I mean, everywhere you look now, it's really the only thing you see besides Jim Carrey. But so we want to kind of discuss that and kind of talk about what's going on. So for those of you who do not know, so the U.S. and Israel launched coordinated strikes on Iran on February 28th, 2026, targeting nuclear facilities, military infrastructure, and leadership positions. Iran retaliated with strikes on Israel and multiple Gulf states, escalating the conflict across the region. The strikes killed Iran's supreme leader. Ken's going to take care of the name. Ken?
That would be the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei.
That was really good.
Thank you.
That was really
Really
good.
like your.
Triggering political upheaval and the rise of an interim leadership council. Over 2,000 Iranian targets have been hit, and the U.S.-Israeli forces have achieved air superiority over Tehran. Protests have erupted globally. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of been something that's been brewing for a while, and we finally, I guess, have partaken. But I guess I'll ask you first. I mean, what's your take on the U.S. Going into Iran and basically getting involved in this conflict?
Yeah, I don't have it might sound weird. I don't have strong feelings about it. It caught me by surprise for sure. What it was Friday night or something like that, our time, Friday night or into Saturday.
Yep.
So you wake up Saturday, which is just a random news day. It's not like your typical news day, and you learn about this, and then you start seeing all the reels and the videos, and a lot of AI out there too. Beware,
Right.
definitely a lot of AI. But it's surprising and not surprising, and I'm sure we'll get into it as we go. But when I was thinking about it in preparation for the episode, no, I don't think there's another country that has been more hostile to the United States in the last, close to 50 years. They've and I have a list of things too that some I remember, some I was a little too young, but they've been basically attacking American interests or straight up attacking America in various ways, mostly military bases in some of the Gulf states and around their region, but also had their hand in the operatives during 9/11, if you believe the accepted narrative, Jake. So, it's kind of interesting in a way to me that something like this hasn't happened or didn't happen earlier. At the same time, I'm not a really big pro-war guy, so I'm not rah, 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 they're doing it. It's global conflict that plays out in the various ways that it does, and this is just the latest one. And it's things that we really shouldn't be surprised about. If you know Bible and you know what end times are and the amount of global conflict there will be.
Yeah. What about you, Daniel? What's your take on what's happening right now?
I think it's just surprising, kind of there was no, before we went into Afghanistan, Iraq, 9/11, was the big prompter.
Right.
There kind of was no big prompter for this, so it was just kind of out of left field. Like Ken said, you wake up and you're like, what's going on? And it was a little even more out of left field because I felt like wasn't it in July there was Operation Midnight Hammer when we went into Iran and we dropped a bunch of bombs on their nuclear facilities because they were so close to achieving a nuclear bomb. And here we are 6 months later and okay, they're close to another nuclear bomb. It's come on, are we serious? We either did or did not destroy their nuclear facilities to oblivion, and now they're on the verge of another nuclear bomb. So I was just kind of the skeptic in me was kind of I'm not really buying this whole thing. Kind of why are we getting involved in this? Why are we getting dragged into this?
Yeah.
Do we really need as a country to be in a conflict with Iran right now. So yeah, I I'm not feeling super optimistic about it myself.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, and I think actually a lot of people share that sentiment because I've seen a lot of people that have been like pro-Trump and pro like America and all that stuff that have really been like on board for everything that Trump's done up to this point until like this, and then it's like between this and the Epstein files, it kind of became. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't say Epstein. don't get us shadow banned
again, please.
But between us and that,
the Epi,
you gotta bleep me out. Later.
Yeah, we'll bleep it out.
Between the files, like I feel like a lot of people have been like, all right, like fool me once, shame on you. Like fool me twice. Like what did George W. Bush say? We won't be fooled again. Fool me twice, we won't be fooled again. But no, I think a lot of people share that sentiment of like you just told us that all their nuclear arsenal is decimated, and now you're telling us that there's more nuclear weapons that are a direct threat to us right now.
Yeah, I think probably what has helped this along, though, and again, I'm not saying it's justified or not, but you've had an uprising of citizens against the government there in the past several months. That has been like, I think I heard a figure of like something like 30,000 people were killed.
Wow.
During those uprisings, 30,000 citizens were killed. I don't know if that is 100% accurate, but I did read that earlier. So I think that helped it along, and not justifying it, but you have Jake. Thank you. You have you have the U.S. I think coming in and like basically like facilitating an atmosphere condition where now like the citizens maybe can rise up and actually have a regime change, a government change there. So if there's anything different, I would say that is what is different about what's happening now.
And I think I can understand that, but I think like going off of like that idea of what Daniel said, and I agree with what Daniel said. I think the pulse of what's happening in this country, I think what a lot of people want is just a little bit more transparency on what's happening. Like if it's for what you're saying is a reasonable explanation as to why you'd go in here, besides the like obvious like continued threats to America, it's a reasonable thing to say, hey, these people are being killed in masses. Like we need to get in there and help stop this. Like just say that instead of, well, they have nuclear weapons, so we need to go and shut them down.
All right, so Jake pulled up that verified activist reports are that 7,000 people died in the crackdown. Alternative estimates suggest that it could be 30 to 35,000. So yeah, so I mean, but needless to say, though,
and these are people that are opposing
the ruling government.
Opposing the ruling government.
The person that was already
Khamenei.
Yeah, so he was already
Khamenei. Yeah, so we go into a little history because I definitely wanted to shore up my history. Daniel, you're a history teacher. You'll appreciate this. Shore up my history because it's interesting when you read like the last, let's say, 100 years or 75 years, Iran and Israel were not always enemies. So from like the 50s to the late 70s, Iran and Israel were I wouldn't say close friends, but they were allies. And that's because the government in Iran at the time, right around like 1950-something, was an American-supported government. So it was favorable to American foreign policy that this particular leader was in place. Still like a Muslim country and still like a ruling, government. So it wasn't like necessarily like a clean or pure democracy, but it was favorable to American interests in the Middle East. And America has always been trying to influence policy in the Middle East, that would make it more favorable for us and maybe even the world. So that government was in place until the late 70s. And in the late 70s, there was an uprising. And it's interesting because when you read the history of it, it was heavily influenced by like communism and socialism, along with these hardline Islamists who wanted to overthrow the government and bring a much more hardline, oppressive government into power there. And so that happened actually in 1979, and that's when the Ayatollahs came, and it wasn't this particular one. It was maybe I don't even know if it's relative, this one's father, or one before this current one who just died. And so they came into power and it immediately just became very oppressive to the people, and particularly to women. So Iran is not a place that women can thrive, and there's not a lot of freedom, and the government's super oppressive. And when you read about these things, you see that, you know, in Islam, you have a few different sects, you know, different categories. And the Iranian government that's there now are of the Shia sect, which are much more hardline and oppressive. And then the Sunnis are the other predominant Islamic sect that are, you know, I think where you find in like Saudi Arabia, and they're definitely not free like America and not with the same exact liberties, but less oppressive and a little bit more progressive, and, you know, believing in a little bit more fluency and prosperity and things like that.
Yeah, I was under the impression that back in like the 50s and maybe around the 50s, 60s, that Iran had democratically like voted for their leader. And then I believe what happened after that was that at that time, that leader had basically kind of did what Venezuela had did and said, all right, our oil, our resources belong to us. I think because at the time Britain owned, well, I guess had the rights to their oil. And I think that leader at that time had basically determined, no, this belongs to the people of Iran. And then basically, I think it was Britain and America kind of went in and took them out, and then that's where they ended up with that Ayatollah that you're talking about.
Yeah, so I think it was a Shah. They called him a Shah, and that was like CIA, MI6 type of operations that deposed who was in there, and so that someone who could take power that was again in more an American interest. So, you know, America and CIA. I mean, there's covert ops everywhere, and they do it everywhere, and sometimes it backfires terribly.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, again, typically in the interest of whatever American foreign policy is.
Right.
And so watch those great John Grisham. No, not John Grisham. Who was Patriot Games and those ones. Jake, look that up. Patriot Games. Who wrote that? Anyway, those movies that all used to have Harrison Ford in them, and then
Clancy.
Yeah, Clancy. Sorry.
Yeah.
Tom Clancy.
Tom Clancy.
Rainbow Six.
Yeah, so you watch some of those movies or read those books, and you see like the CIA influence in the American foreign policy and how it's exacted and how it can backfire terribly. So that's how that current government came into power, and up until 79 when there was that Islamic revolution, and that's who has been in power for the last 47 years or so.
Yeah.
Wow. So like what part of the conflict do you think most Americans right now are misunderstanding?
I would say just what we're talking about. I think people maybe don't understand the why or the urgency.
The history
right?
behind
Because like in the 2000s after 9/11, when Bush wanted to go into Iraq, you know, they ginned up weapons of mass destruction, which turned out to be totally fake. So there was that, you know, that whatever you call it.
It was like I said last episode, I was hoping for a 9/11 type experience, but I didn't mean like war in Iran. I wanted just the community to come together. But there was a physical thing that happened here. There was a cause and an effect, right? 9/11 happened, terrorist attacks happened.
Right.
The effect was us going over there.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody, I mean, I think Israel would be more the nation that would be motivated to do this because of like October 7th. It's October 7th, right?
6th or 7th.
6th or 7th. Jake? I think it's 7th too, but
what?
Yeah, it was,
Jake spaced out. October 7th. So that was, you know, Iran is definitely 100% indisputably the state sponsor of almost all the terrorism that happens in that region.
Yeah, for sure.
So they're funding and they're sponsoring Hezbollah and Hamas and all these shadow organizations that, you know, so with that happening October 7th, I mean, that's why I'm kind of surprised it took this long for it to happen. I thought Israel probably would have done this a long time ago just because of what happened with October 7th.
So wait, what happened for? Because I'm not sure. I didn't even know what happened.
Well, October 7th was when like Hamas, they like parachuted and paraglided.
There was that music festival in
into
Israel.
and like killed a ton
Remember?
of people and
was that Israel?
And kidnapped, and
Oh,
they
okay.
kidnapped a bunch of people.
kidnapped a bunch of
and-
people, killed a bunch of
okay.
people, decapitated babies, like
Oh,
crazy
wow.
stuff.
Yeah,
And,
they flew over in like these those little
it's like little propeller
wind propelled
glider
things,
Hang
and kind of sorta.
Kind of, sorta. So that was the
October 7th.
the terrorist groups that are supported by
Right.
Iran, that are these
Right.
proxy cells that are supported by Iran. And so I thought it would have happened sooner with Israel being at the front of it. Obviously,
Israel was probably dealing with all of the war front with Hamas, trying to get things under control in Gaza, as they would see it, and as soon as that kind of tempered down, maybe get throttled up to launch into Iran, or even waiting for somebody like Trump to come along who could get behind them and do their bidding in Iran.
Well, when you look at really from day one, when the current government in Iran came into power in 1979, their main platform, their theme going forward was Israel does not have the right to exist and death to America because America is such a strong ally of Israel. And right off the bat, they took 50-something people hostage at an American embassy and held them captive for over a year.
Wow.
And that was kind of like the undoing of Jimmy Carter's re-election campaign, because it made him look weak because this American embassy was taken hostage for so long. And then shortly after that, you had a truck bombing at a Marine base that killed 240 Marines, and you have all the if you look at the timeline, there's a timeline over the last 40-something years of these attacks that are not maybe on this grand scale, but they are definitely carried out and influenced by Iran, who is trying to attack, America, the great Satan, who has bases and interests in the Middle East. The big one, again, being 9/11, Jake, if you believe the accepted narrative, that they facilitated the transit of those operatives back and forth and resourced them for what they did. So, Iran has definitely been the bad guys
Right.
for a long time. And, I guess you could get on either side of the argument and say it's justified, it's not justified, whatever. But they've definitely been the biggest provocateur to Israel over the last 40-something years, and also to the U.S. as well. And so, again, not saying it's justified what's happening now, but I'm a little surprised it took this long. So,
Is this more? So do you feel like this is more of America coming to help Israel at this point? Israel's enough is enough. Can you come help us out over here? We kind of can't handle what's happening, and we're coming to their aid.
I mean,
Is this a?
I'm not going to think for anybody, but I think they're all just kind of done. I think
Everybody's all set.
We're good.
Iran.
Yeah,
all right.
we're done with
You've
them.
been poking the bear for long enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I could guess, I would say that's it. I think that definitely has a little bit more wide-ranging implications,
Yeah.
but I'd say just easy answer. I think they're just kind of done.
I think when you look at back to your point, when you look at a lot of the things that Ayatollah had said, I mean, I watched a translated video of one of his major speeches, and it's all about just death to America, and they are the infidels, and launch war against them. So that definitely has been
Right.
their big message and big platform for a very long time. I can't speak on the living conditions of the everyday population, but given the uprisings, I have to say it's probably not great. I think some of this has to go back to what your view on American foreign policy is, and is it that should America be the world's police? Should we be the world's police? And I think for a long time, since World War I, World War II, when we got on the stages as a major global power,
Yeah.
I think for a long time we've played that role. And, I guess your foreign policy views will dictate whether or not you agree or disagree. And I find that a lot more people are disagreeing with the fact that America should be involved in a lot of these foreign conflicts. I mean, Trump even kind of ran on the fact that he was going to make peace with all these conflicts
Right.
and not drag America into another war. And so, yeah, I mean, for me, you asked the question about whether or not we're defending Israel. I do feel like it's more of like a, we never need an excuse to go after Iran. So Israel just kind of gave us one.
Yeah.
And so us coming to their defense or us coming to a joint task with them to kind of get into this war, I think is kind of just the ever small little domino to fall that always needs to fall for us to just get involved in the Middle East again, which we always seem to be involved in.
Right. Yeah. So what you guys are saying is there didn't have to there was already a reason enough to go over there, but this kind of just was that domino that kind of put us over the edge and got the ball rolling.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to guess, and again, we're speaking just strictly as trying to see inside the thoughts of these global leaders who have reasons and secrets and things that we couldn't even begin to understand or fathom. If we can kind of bring it to like a biblical perspective, I think some of this has happened because I think when you have a large population of God's people, Iran has one of the biggest underground churches and growing in the world.
Right.
And so if they're super oppressed and they live under this, super oppressive where they don't have the freedom to worship, and they are imprisoned and even executed and things of that nature. So you have this large underground church that's praying. I think it's only a matter of time before things get shaken. And I'm not saying that God is chess, moving chess pieces like that, or but you see throughout the course of history, and especially biblical history, that when God's people are oppressed and they start praying, things happen. They start crying out to God. And you can go back to Egypt and Pharaoh and God's people that are slaves there and in captivity. And then it's funny because I mentioned it a week ago in the sermon, and I mentioned Daniel praying, not this Daniel the prophet, praying in chapter 9 and chapter 10. God's people had been captive for so long, and then in chapter 9, Daniel starts praying this prayer of repentance on behalf of himself and the people. Now, the Babylonian Empire had already been conquered by the Persian Empire, which is Iran. So we're talking about we're inside Persia here. We're inside modern-day Iran.
So Persia is modern-day Iran.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so Daniel is praying and, praying on behalf of the people and himself in this prayer of repentance to kind of come back to God. And then the angel Gabriel in Daniel 10 or 9, at the end of 9, visits Daniel, and the angel Gabriel is only mentioned by name 4 times in Scripture. He visits Daniel, he strengthens him, and then another messenger comes and talks about sending the archangel Michael to battle the prince of Persia, who is like over the place of their captivity, over Persia. So we're talking about like a spiritual power, principality. And after that prayer, in the historical timeline, this is I think in like the mid 400 BC, the Persia enters into the Greco-Persian War, which further weakens Persia. And then in the biblical timeline, shortly after that is when Nehemiah goes back to Jerusalem to rebuild the walls, and where the people finally leave their captivity that they've been in for over 100 years, since probably like 580 BC when Nebuchadnezzar first conquered Jerusalem and took the people away captive into Babylon. And now, so after 100 years now or more, they're starting to come back, and it started with God's oppressed people praying. So I can definitely think and see that there might be a biblical parallel to what's happening. I'm not giving Trump glory or credit in saying that, but God will use who he'll use. And I've said a bunch of times before, I don't even think that the global players, the global leaders that are doing what they do, and beyond Trump, I mean, the world over, even understand what they do and what it actually, what the real consequence is it of, or consequence of it is. But God knows, and God knows how everything is going to play out, and everything is going to play out according to how he has said it will play out. And so I do see this could be in a response to a oppressed church that's praying.
So you think this has a biblical I mean, I think everything, obviously, that happens, good or bad, has some type of part to play in what happens in our future. But do you think, and I don't want to get too revelation. You know what I mean? But
You can, though, I think, though.
yeah, okay. So yeah, that's kind of what I want to ask you. Like, what part does this have shades of things to come?
So I was talking about this with Johnny a little bit yesterday. So in the Middle East right now, as far as I know, I'm not a Middle East expert by any means. I'm not a geopolitical expert, but right now you have a very, it might sound crazy, but a pretty stable Middle East outside of Iran. You have countries like these powers like Saudi Arabia, and then some of the other smaller countries that are American allies right now, like Kuwait and Qatar. Certainly Israel's a big American ally. And then Iraq is, Iraq was kind of dealt with, and I don't even know what the condition is of Iraq right now, but they're not the same threat that they were,
Right.
during the time of Saddam Hussein. So Iran is really like the main provocateur of both Israel and the U.S., but let's focus on Israel. So if they're out of the picture, right?
If Israel's out of the picture.
No, Iran.
Okay.
If Iran is dealt with here in this war, then you really don't have any major threats to Israel or any antagonists that are clearly
Okay.
clear to Israel. And so one thing that Trump has been pushing even since 2016 is peace in the Middle East, like the Abraham Accords. And he wants to have this, he already, what did he established recently? The not Department of Peace, but that global, Jake, look that up.
Department of War.
No, I know, but
Space Force.
no, recently in some of the different, multi-country geopolitical meetings, the Board of Peace, I think he called it actually, the Board of Peace, which is, these different nations that are coming together, really pushing for peace. So if Iran gets taken out and this is neutralized, there won't be any clear threat to Israel right now, and that there'll be even a bigger push for peace in the Middle East. And that sounds great, and we all want peace, and peace, I think, is everybody's objective. But biblically, I believe, and I think the scripture is clear on it, is that the Antichrist is going to come on the scene and be revealed through a deception involving a peace treaty with Israel. And there's a verse that I go back to a lot in 1 Thessalonians where Paul talks about the coming of the Lord, and it's in chapter 5, verse 3, and he said, 2 says that, "For you know quite well that the day of the Lord's return will come unexpectedly like a thief in the night. When people are saying everything is peaceful and secure, then disaster will fall on them as suddenly as a pregnant woman's labor pains begin." So I can see how, again, whether Trump knows what he's doing or not, I don't know. But I know that this is quite possibly going to set up that scene and that stage for there to be this peace, which is probably very much false peace, but that allows somebody through deception to deceive Israel and then begin what the Bible calls the tribulation.
Yeah. This is a rabbit hole that I really want to go down, dude.
Well, here we are.
This is a rabbit hole I really want to go down. Because, I mean, you hear about people talk about the end times all the time, right? And, I mean, the Bible says, be not troubled by wars and rumors of wars and things like that. But at some point, right, eventually we got to get there. Eventually we got to get to what Revelation's talking about. And that's why I love when you talk about stuff like this, because it's like, all right, I can kind of see the puzzle pieces. I mean, we're not quite there. It's like you're looking at the box and there's pieces of the puzzle in the box.
Well, you remember when I started the fall series? It was the what time is it? It was a sermon series. It was all about end times, right? And the funny thing was that the big kind of puzzle piece that never fits is that how will Israel rebuild the temple when you have the Dome of the Rock shrine sitting right on top of the Temple Mount grounds? Again, so if there's this huge push for peace, like you have this huge peace agreement, you don't know what concessions are going to be made, and you don't know what allies, or what partnerships are going to be made, even if they're under false pretense, that can facilitate something like that. But I can tell you, with the Iran and Hamas and Hezbollah neutralized and out of the way, it's way more plausible than it was before the 28th of February.
And when it comes, I guess when it comes to all this, these thoughts, like, are we being, what's the word I'm looking for? Are we being too prideful to assume that the U.S. is going to play a major role in this? Like, do you think that, like, we're justified in being there right now?
I think when you're talking about biblical prophecy and end times, I don't think it's about justification, because I don't think, God, Jesus' kingdom is the one that's important.
Right.
Jesus' kingdom is the only one that's righteous.
Right.
Jesus' kingdom is the only one that will last for eternity. Everything else will fall. Every other kingdom, the American kingdom, the Saudi Arabian kingdom, Israel will fall. Everybody will fall. So I don't think it's about justification or like rooting one way or the other. I think it's just staying prayerful and really making sure that we rely on, finding our peace in God, our security in God, and not being shaken too much. Because as Jesus said, there'll be wars, there'll be rumors of wars. These things must happen.
Right.
So they're going to happen. We have to just continue trusting in God and really just continue looking to Him and understanding the reality of His second coming and making sure that we're doing what we should be doing until that time comes in that space of time that's left.
I think it's hard because we're both spirit and flesh, and so in our spirit man, in our inner spirit man, we can look at things very spiritually, very things kind of become a little bit easier when you put it in the context of the biblical worldview,
right?
And these are some of the things that have to happen, and then you can get into your flesh a little bit, and you're looking at some of the actual physical ramifications of it, and just thinking as a citizen of a country, and you're paying tax dollars to this country, and so there's a lot of different ways to kind of look at the same situation. And then you kind of find yourself like warring within yourself to even figure out, okay, where do I stand on some of this stuff? So I think that's where a lot of people are really finding themselves right now, is kind of in this like they don't know how to feel, because there's just so much that's like red flags, but then there's so much like just understanding and the reality of like these. We know that these things are going to happen, biblically speaking, and so just kind of like that again. The war between flesh and blood,
right.
Between our flesh and our spirit,
Right.
And it can become difficult at times, and this is where we feel the tension of our spirit man and our flesh man, in how we live out these things.
So I'm glad you brought that up. So what would you say to someone that's going through that exact conflict that you're talking about? Because I've seen it a lot right now. I see a lot of people that, like I said before, I've been on board for everything that's happened with this presidency, that have been on board for a lot of these things up until recently, up until the point where they feel like they're being lied to, they've been misled, they feel like the transparency is not there, and now we're in this war that has been told to us, we don't want any new wars, we don't want to go to Iran. America would be wrong to go into Iran, and now here we are, and we're there, and we're already in the middle of it. And I think there's a lot of people that are trying to navigate exactly what you're talking about. What would you say to those people that are trying to navigate them? How can those people that are struggling, that don't have peace right now, how can you? What would you say to them to kind of bring them back to reality and bring some peace to their lives?
I mean,
who stumped you?
No, it's not a stump. It's just more like read Revelation. It's going to get way worse.
You're not wrong.
Anxiety level 1,000.
It's going to get way worse.
Yeah,
and it doesn't like Trump will be president for however many years, right?
Yeah.
A couple more years, unless he declares what is it, Jake?
War. Never-ending war.
Never-ending war, and he says no, but. It's if it's not Trump, it's somebody else, and if it's not them, it's the next person. If it's not them, it's the next person. And Trump is only the president of one nation.
Right.
We have a lot of different nations. So this is a global thing that's happening, and there's a lot of moving pieces here. And so to try to like figure out like, oh, this or that, I mean, you do need to put your trust in God.
Right.
because it does get a lot worse. I mean, read about the tribulation. Read about, you think, a few bombs dropping in Iran is bad. You're talking about a massive global conflict and massive global pestilence and massive global famine. And so you need to put your trust in God. This life is but a vapor. We are just passing through. There's a kingdom that awaits us, the Lord's kingdom, which is eternal life and eternal joy and eternal peace. So, we navigate this one the best that we can. If somebody's afraid about this or they're unsure, it's just another reason to seek God, put your trust in God, and put your hope in Him, because He is coming soon. And the things of Scripture, they are coming to pass. Like, they're slowly coming to pass, maybe quicker than in previous generations.
Yeah. I think we say it time and time and time again on this. Like, man is always going to let you down.
100%.
Like, it doesn't matter if it's the president, your parents, like your best friend in the world. You're always going to be let down at some point by somebody. The level of severity of that letdown is obviously going to be different, but God's not going to let you down. Like, and we talk about this time and time again. That's where your trust needs to be, and just knowing that, like you said before, Ken, this is a tragedy. What's going to happen? Like this, obviously, no war is a good war, but God will use this to continue to further His kingdom, further whatever He needs to do to get us where we need to be. He's going to use this to do that. And I think there is some peace in that, while it might not feel like it, because yes, we are in war now, and we'll probably have some loved ones that serve and might have to go over there and things like that.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? So, but we got to understand that this is part of God's plan.
Yeah, and I don't even know if, like, I'm not correcting you, but like God will use. I think it's just more when you read Revelation, it's really just when the depravity of mankind plays out to the end.
Yeah, and
that's what you get. Yeah. You get destruction, you get death, you get tragedy, you get unjust wars, you get greed, you get and so you see that as the times proceed and go on, and we get to what we call end times, you're just going to see the depravity of man just on greater display. And that really is what Revelation is. It's just the bitter, terrible end of sinful mankind bringing his desires to full fruition. And it's always destruction. It's always death. It's never pretty. But the good part of the story is that we have a redeeming God who rescues us. We have a redeeming God who returns for us, and He has a place for us that is prepared far beyond what we could ever conceive of or imagine here, where there will be no more death and no more dying. And so I think that's the contrast that's important that people understand, is that it's the more we go, it's going to be hard to find anything virtuous or praiseworthy in man and political leaders and all that, because they have a desired end that may not be virtuous whatsoever. Probably isn't.
You never have to apologize for correcting me, Ken.
No, that's okay. I didn't just want it to sound like that.
So how can, now we're talking about Christians navigating this circumstance right now. How should Christians go about praying for what's happening right now? Praying for, you talked about the underground churches that are in Iran. There's people that are gonna potentially lose their lives that are Christians, that are believers, and obviously we're all made in God's image. We're all children of God. How can Christians go about praying for what's unfolding, what's taking place now?
I don't want to take too much of the time, but I would say you pray, like you just said, pray for the persecuted church. Always be praying for the underground church. I'd say keep your eyes on Nigeria, because there's a Christian genocide happening there now. And so I can see, if people are really praying and the church is praying for righteousness and justice, that might be a place that gets shaken next, one way or the other. Who knows how, but you see that there. And so I'd say, pray for the persecuted church. Pray for believers that, we have no idea.
Oh, yeah.
We have no idea. Me and Daniel we were in Dubai 2 years ago, 2 years and maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe. And we talked about today, like, just how wild it would be to be there now. and be stuck.
That's right.
You know,
Yeah.
the airport's closed, people that are there cannot leave, and just how frightening that would be. That still even can't compare to some of the churches and the Christians that are persecuted in these oppressive countries like Nigeria, where they're being slaughtered, Iran, where they're oppressed, China, where they're oppressed, Russia, where they're oppressed, and many other places. So I think our prayer for the persecuted church is what should be the utmost. You know, I mean, we should pray for these global conflicts too. Pray for God's will to be done. You know, pray for peace. You know, nobody wants war. I certainly don't want war. I'm not a proponent of war. But I also can see how this is going to bring things about. So I want God's will to be done. I certainly don't want to see lives lost, or, you know, young servicemen killed in action or anything like that. But I think our prayers should start with the church and then go from there.
Daniel, any last thoughts on this topic?
Yeah, I think a lot of believers are not aware of the persecuted church. You know, I'm not sure that that's even a discussion that we have even in American, you know, churches. A lot of times
we pretend we're the persecuted.
Yeah, you know, we're so focused on kind of like what we feel like is persecution, which is like
Starbucks cups.
You know, my electric bill went up, you know, 25% this month, and like I'm really feeling oppressed, which I get it. I am feeling oppressed 100%. You know, but like real oppression is not that, you know, in real persecution is not that, and biblical persecution is not that. And there are a whole bunch of believers scattered all over the world who do not have the freedom that we have to gather. And man, we take it such for granted. You know, I remember you know, we felt like persecution was when COVID happened and we couldn't really meet together in an actual church building. You know, and then, you know, we come back and everybody's just so excited to be in the building, and how quickly we slide right into the comfort where it's easy to take for granted the Sunday gathering and the freedom that we have to express our worship and be together in community and to dwell together. And we can just slump right back into complacency and laziness, but yet thinking we're persecuted because, oh, you know, my boss this, or, you know, my dad didn't give me money, or, you know, it sounds silly, but there's just so many things that we blow up and we make such a big deal on because we don't have a global perspective of the greater humanity, which is why I really do encourage everybody to travel. Like, get out of this country and go and see the world, experience different cultures, especially go to like a third world country, go on a missions trip, get out of your frame of mind, because it really will give you a greater understanding of what people go through. And then really, I mean, there's so much stuff out there on the persecuted church and the underground churches in a lot of these countries, Iran, China. You know, go and watch a couple videos on it. See what people do to go and gather. You know, gosh, we make a joke, like if it's cloudy or rainy or snowy, like you're going to see an easy 25 to 50% reduction in attendance.
Yep.
Just because it's inconvenient to drive there and get out of my car to walk into the building. When I go and do this for work, I'll go and do this for a birthday party. I'll go and do this, you know, to run in the mall to exchange a shirt that I need to get exchanged. You know, but like I can't even, you know, real persecution is the fact that it's going to rain, and so I can't really get around the community of believers.
I'll
you know,
sit out and watch my kid's soccer game in the rain for 2 hours.
For sure, you know, and you know, and these believers in these other countries are literally like going through hell and high water and risking
Having
their
to
lives.
Hide everything that they're doing.
Genuinely hide, go into tunnels. Like, it's called the underground church for a reason. I mean, there is a lot that we don't know and we don't see. You know, get out and they're dragged out and they're tortured and they're beaten and they're shot and they're publicly executed and they're, you know, told to renounce the name of God, or else them and their family will be killed. And it's wild, and we just are so unaware because we're so in our bubble.
Oh yeah.
You know. Oh my God, I gotta have to get my brakes done on my car. Like, my life is over.
Right.
And it's like, you're so privileged, you have no idea.
It's not just happening in movies.
No.
That persecution is not just happening in movies. It's
No,
happening
not at all.
and like you said before, I mean, get out there and go do a missions trip. Go to
Mhm.
one of these places and see what's happening.
Yeah.
Like you guys talked about a little bit about when you were in India. Like, go sit in the middle of a poppy field in a tent and like really like
Talk about perspective.
yeah, surrounded by armed guards, just
Mhm.
trying to make sure that nobody comes in and out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, and we don't realize how good we have it here, and we get fat and lazy.
And we lose our sense of urgency for the gospel.
That's right.
Because we're sitting on such comfy couches, and I don't mean the ones we're actually sitting on,
These are
but we get so comfortable, and a lot of times when we start to get too comfortable, there needs to be a shaking in order to awaken God's church and God's people. And I think it's just important that we have a perspective outside of our own that isn't so like, all right, this is just my lens and it's my world and my life. It's everything. It's me all the time. And it's like there's just so much more going out there. And that could either really encourage you or really discourage you.
That's right.
Because it's like the world isn't about you. All right, there's a much greater world, and there's a kingdom purpose to all of this outside of our own desires and dreams and wishes. That could be earth-shattering, or it could also be just encouraging, the fact that, it isn't all about just me.
Do you think, and I don't want to take too long on this, but I know we're trying to come to an end here, but do you guys think that this will have a rippling effect within America of the gospel being spread or taking deeper root here? Do you guys see
Once we get persecuted, it will.
Do you think that's what it's going to
honestly,
seriously, do you think that's what it's going to take?
I really do.
Yeah.
I really do. It's just biblical. I mean, like there's an interesting verse in Exodus. I think it's 1 or 2, chapter 1, or it's probably 2. It's a principle that when God's people are oppressed, they multiply. And so it's a verse in Exodus, I think it's 2, where the more that Pharaoh laid the burdens on to God's people, the more that they grew and multiply and spread. And then you see the same principle in the Gospels, and you see it in Acts and in church history. The more persecution came, the more the gospel spread, the more Christians multiplied. You're seeing it in Iran right now. It's the fastest growing church in the world is Iran, because they have lived over the last almost 50 years. There weren't very many. It's interesting. There weren't very many Christians in Iran until a barbaric, oppressive Islamic government took over.
Wow.
That's like very ironic, right? That you only see that in God. You only see that in the gospel. And so it's grown in the last several years, especially. They're saying like probably over 3 million Christians in Iran, which is incredible, So it will take that. We're just way too comfortable. We don't really understand this gospel that we preach. We don't appreciate how precious it is. We don't understand how precious it is, and typically you don't until it's threatened. Until your freedom or your livelihood's threatened.
That's a great point.
People can't worship if their favorite song isn't on, or if the lights aren't positioned correctly, or if,
I was wondering why you guys turned up the heat so much, dude.
we gotta get people uncomfortable, dude. Real persecution. Burn them. This is what hell's gonna feel like if you don't worship. Throw up your hands for the love of God.
Just one. Just one.
Just
one
anything. Start singing, please.
All right. Before we close out, you guys, I asked you guys to participate tonight in the booth.
It was the silentest night.
I know you guys were soaking it all in, but do you guys have anything? I mean, we'll start with you, Jake. Do you have anything you want to say?
I do have to clear the smoke, literally. So Building 7 did fall at free fall speed with no plane hitting it. Those was $1 trillion paper trails that were burned by multi-billion-dollar investors here in our country.
We're going to get shadow banned.
So all you got to do is look up the fact that it was a controlled demolition, and Building 7 fell with no plane hitting it.
And
That's all you got to know.
And the Pentagon, too.
Who cares about the Pentagon?
Well, no, they said the physics are like impossible that a plane could hit the way it did. Like that. So
there was altered
just
footage.
Melt.
I would like
and
to
just totally be eviscerated and have like zero trace left of it.
But yet they found the passports of the hijackers.
I would like to say one more thing too. I think a lot of the focus right now is on Trump. I think that there's you got to remember there's several people at the very, very top pulling the strings above Trump. I think I did come on here to kind of roast Trump a little bit, but I think we got to look outside the box. You know, there's people that are above Trump in this, you know, in this really, really pulling the strings for what's really going to happen and what's going to happen. I think what we discussed at church as far as prayer life is a big portion of the direction that we have to take. You know, pray for the troops, pray for your neighbors, watch over their shoulders, because a lot of the things that we're going to be seeing, I'm not going to say that we're going to have war on our soil, but we have to watch, you know, with all the immigration and all the things happening, we have to watch over our shoulders. We have to watch the World Cup that's going to be happening in this country in a couple of years.
Oh, that's canceled, dude.
That's this year, isn't it?
This year.
That's canceled.
Well, Iran has a qualifier here, but you know, just things like that. We got to be prayerful in considering, you know, people coming to Christ, you know, troops getting safe, you know, comfort and love. And I think a great verse is Psalm 91, you know, to rest on the strength of God. And, you know, so Psalm 91 verse 15, when they call on me, I will answer. I will be with them in trouble. I will rescue and honor them. I will reward them with a long life and give them my salvation. That's kind of where I was brought to with this whole war going on, and just to rest on God. So,
amen.
Yeah, thanks, Jake.
Great takes, Jake.
What about you, Spence? Got any thoughts?
No, nothing really to add.
Oh, okay.
No, I really liked what you were saying, Ken. I thought that was some real, you know, practical wisdom, you know, biblical stuff in there. So that was cool.
Just
All
him, huh? Jeez.
that was amazing.
I get no love on this.
I was in awe. I was drooling. You see the drool coming out of my mouth?
I love what you were saying, Josh.
Thanks, dude. Johnny.
I think a lot of things are a lot more spiritual than people believe.
I agree.
And the spiritual realm is real. And Israel, actually. No, jokes aside. It is real. And,
Sorry, Pedro.
I don't know. I think that people need to definitely be in prayer more. I think it's definitely lacking among Christians, especially in America. And, yeah, I think community, strong prayer life is important. Staying in your word. Because I think we are definitely in the birth pains of the end times. I was reading Matthew 24 yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's what it talks about, you know, rumors of war, threats of war. And so definitely being in scripture and understanding that the spiritual realm is real and that there are going to be attacks on us. So just being prayerful, prayerfully consider what's going on in the times.
Good word, Johnny. Yeah, I'm with you.
Good
I don't,
stuff.
and like you said before, Jake, I don't even blame Trump like for what's going on. Like, the only thing I'm like is just, I get there's probably some level of like feeling like you need to like give the people what they want when he goes up there and has his speeches, has his State of the Union and all that stuff. It's like you kind of want to give the people what they want, but at some point, like, just treat us like adults and just say, hey, this is what we're doing. You know what I mean? I'm the guy in charge. Like, this is what we're doing. We're gonna go and do it. You know what I mean? But I think, like you said before, Ken, this has kind of been something that's been boiling up, and it's where we kind of just got to the breaking point where it's like, all right, enough's enough.
I mean, maybe.
keep
I mean, that's
poking
my
the
best
bear.
answer if you're going to talk
I'm
about,
with
like,
you.
humanly speaking. That's
Yeah,
my
I'm with
best
you.
answer. I don't know why, you know, outside of
Yeah.
of that. But again, I think the spiritual connotations are more plausible for what's happening.
That's
you know what I
right.
mean? Because
I'm with you.
I think the global players are. I don't think they even know the consequence and the ramifications of what they do from day to day, and then when you get to these big moves, you know what I mean? I think they know what they're doing. They think they're doing it for a good or justified reason, but ultimately God's will be done one way or the other. And so I tend to try to look at more of that, you know, that there's a persecuted church that's praying in this place. And just like there was a war in Persia, you know,
Right.
several hundred years ago that brought God's people liberation, the same thing's happening now.
That's right. Do you have a KTT?
I don't know if I have a KTT. You know, I just think that everybody contributed a lot today to this, and I think that if we can just agree to just be, I think as we've all said, just try to be a little bit more heavenly minded when it comes to stuff like this, because you could go back and forth forever and just try to figure out the political posturing and reasoning and
sure.
not to say that that's awful to do, but at face value. But I think we should be a little bit more spiritually minded, and as Johnny said, there's way more spiritually that's happening that than we take credit for. And like I preached 2 weeks ago, you know what I mean, that everything that happens spiritually will then play out in the natural, as when Daniel prayed and there was a battle in the heavenlies above the place of their captivity, and then there was that ensuing freedom that happened. So stay spiritually minded, just stay in God, stay in prayer, and just pray his will be done on earth as it is in heaven, as he taught us to.
Amen. All right. You have anything else?
Just trying to draw attention to my Owl City CD one more time, because in honor of the Burj Al Arab Hotel in Dubai, just got to bring that out, point that out.
Why does Owl City why is that on their album cover?
The album cover was called Ocean Eyes, and it's probably one of the more iconic buildings near an ocean.
I don't think I realized that was the cover, to be honest with you. On that. Me and Daniel were able to get about 50 to 100 yards to that hotel. That was as close as we could get.
That was as close as we could
There's a gate, and I can't remember how many hundreds of dollars it is, but it's hundreds of dollars just to reserve a place at the bar at that hotel.
Really?
And probably the rooms start at like $20,000 a night or something like
nuts.
that.
Yeah, it's insanity.
That's crazy.
So yeah, we got within we took pictures, we took selfies with it behind us. We got it probably within 100 yards of it.
That's awesome.
Pretty incredible to have seen, but
yeah,
yeah.
That's awesome.
We were saying we would not want to be anywhere near the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world in
Oh,
Dubai.
yeah.
Right now.
Now, we would not want to be anywhere near that.
With missiles flying.
Missiles and drones falling out of the sky.
And people live in that.
Easy target.
It's got a ton of apartments in
no.
it. Yeah.
Hopefully they've evacuated by this point.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know that they do that. I have no idea.
Eesh.
I don't know, but
Crazy.
All right, guys. Another good episode.
yes, love and peace always.
Let there be peace and love throughout the
Love
whole
and
world.
peace.
Let there be
If
love.
people just listen to this podcast and watch this podcast, I think we'd have world peace.
I think we need to. So share this with somebody.
I don't know. Spencer's photo really would have triggered a world war. I don't know.
Everybody seemed pretty unified about it.
Oh yeah, no. Facts, Spence. Facts.
true.
Spence, what do you think about that contest? Should we push that? I think we could.
No.
Photoshop.
This is going to get really out of
PG.
control.
No, it's got to be PG. We
Very
will not
quickly.
accept anything worse than PG. But Photoshop something in the place of that microphone, and we'll have a contest out of it. You get a sticker. Or something.
Whoever submits something, you're dead to me.
Chipotle crisper.
The winner gets some holy donuts.
Oh my gosh.
No one's going to participate.
Yeah.
Crispers with Jake.
a dinner date with Jake at Chili's.
Finding peace is going to be all over that.
I think we could find our sponsor through this. Like somebody put a big Jersey Mike sub in there.
I'm done.
I don't think they make Jersey Mikes that big.
I'm done.
Come on, sponsors, come on board.
Don't forget to buy me a coffee. And until next time, we love you. Peace.
Love and peace.
The Not Safe for Sunday podcast is recorded in the loft. Our production team is Spencer Berriman, Jacob McCall, and John Walsh. You can find us on social media at NSFS Podcast. If you'd like to join us for a Sunday service, you can find us at Conquerors for Christ Church, located at 972 Reed Road in North Dartmouth, Massachusetts.